My name is Joe Lawton, or Adam Joe Lawton, and I was a 17-year-old junior seaman on HMS Sheffield in 1982. During my teenage years, Mum and Dad had a pub on the Norfolk Broads, and my dad had been a merchant seaman, and I would listen to his stories of his time at sea. And when I was about 14, the BBC ran a documentary called Sailor about HMS Ark Royal's deployment to America. And after that ship came home, a bunch of matelots got a boat on the Norfolk Broads and went on a busman's holiday. And when they got to Mum and Dad's pub, he heard them talking about life at sea and said, I used to be at sea. And they ended up staying at Mum and Dad's pub for about 3 days. The day after that, we were down the Royal Navy Careers Office. And I left school June 1980, and there was a few months' wait, and I joined up at HMS Raleigh on the 1st of December 1980. I finished my seamanship training and I finished my radar training at HMS Dryad. We then had to wait for drafts or availabilities billets on ships. I was summoned to the divisional officer's office, and he said to me, "Where were you from, Lawton?" And I said, "Norfolk." And he said, "Well, you don't sound like you're from Norfolk." I said, "That's originally because I'm from Yorkshire, sir." And he said, "Well, that's a coincidence." I said, "What's a coincidence?" And he said, "Sheffield is in Yorkshire." And I said, "Yes, I know that." And he goes, "You're joining Sheffield on Monday." And I said, "But I thought Beckett was joining her, sir. He's been telling everybody where they're going. They're going to the Gulf and Diego Garcia and Mauritius." And he said, "Well, he's gone sick and you're taking his place. You're a very lucky young man, about to turn quick march." And the following week, I joined HMS Sheffield. I joined Sheffield on the 9th of November 1981, and I was still a junior seaman. The following day, the 10th of November, I turned 17 and a half, so I became a ordinary seaman class 2. 10 days later, on the 19th of November, Sheffield sailed for the Armilla Patrol, which is the Gulf Patrol, which had commenced because of the Iran-Iraq war, and then back up to the Gulf for some more patrols. And then about March time, we sailed up through the Suez and into Piraeus in Greece. Then we went across to Gibraltar the middle of March for exercise Spring Train, which is an annual exercise of many ships. Whilst we were ashore, we started hearing these stories about the Falkland Islands, and in all honesty, most people didn't know where they were, and the stories that most people thought they were off Scotland are fairly true. Anyway, we sailed from Gib at the end of March, and we went into exercise Spring Train, which was anti-submarine and anti-surface and anti-warfare exercises, and we carried out a Sea Dart missile firing on about the 1st of April, I think. And when we hit the target, we had carried out the longest Sea Dart missile engagement in history. Nobody had ever fired a missile that far before. And the signal came from Admiral Woodward, "Bravo Zulu, Sheffield," as in, "Well done, but do not fire again." And nobody knew why. Until the morning of the 2nd of April, we were only 4 days away from home after 6 months in the Gulf. And straight after call of hands, Captain Salt came on the main broadcast and said, "We're not going home because this has happened," and everybody turned southwest at maximum revs, 30 knots, to head for Ascension Island.